Who's your idol in life? Who's your mentor? Like many people, do you look to the film stars, the musicians, the models, and look at them and think, oh, I would like to be like that. I would like to be as famous or as rich, have all the luxuries that they have all the men and women running around them like they do, have you want to dress like they do, wear what they wear. But actually, who are they in comparison to who you are? You see, we can't imitate other people like we think we can by just looking at the famous ones, because actually we don't really know who they are. We judge them based on, oh, they're doing well in the films, they're doing well in the charts with their music, they must be very, very, very good. But I tell you this now, before I was in Krishna Consciousness, when I was reading the news and watching the news, I saw the fall down of many, many famous actors, many famous musicians, because actually their life isn't as beautiful and harmonious as you think it is. And most of them got very, very lost on intoxicants, on drugs, on alcohols, and they were getting lost and lost and lost, and they fell down and fell down and fell down. So why do we look up to these idols thinking that they are the ones that should be the ones guiding us? Do we need to go a little bit more deeper? Does there need to be some depth to how we choose who to listen to, who to take guidance from? I'm reading the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, first canto, chapter 6, verse 10. Sorry, verse 2, my apologies. And in this particular verse, Narada Muni has taken guidance from the sages, he's now moving on, and Vasudeva is thinking, oh, do you know what, I want to be just like Narada, I want to be able to be as transcendental, and he aspires to be like him. But yes, in this particular case, Narada Muni, he's a great sage. He thinks, he behaves, he acts with such purity and wholesomeness, not only just in himself, but towards the Lord and towards society as a whole. So yes, he is inspiring, and that's very, 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 very beautiful, because to have someone to look up to like that is someone worthy to create, not say your own image, but to basically find someone who actually gives you inspiration to think, do you know what, I'd like to be a little like them. You see, for me, choosing a spiritual master wasn't just about, oh, who should I have? Should I have the person who's got the most amount of followers, or this reason or that reason? No, I realized that the spiritual master that I aspire with, he's the one who makes me feel like there is no one else in this world that gives me the inspiration beyond Srila Prabhupada, I should say, and Lord Chaitanya, to serve the Lord. And it's very, 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 very beautiful. You see, when I look at my spiritual master, every single word that comes out of his mouth is something that's of great importance. You know, sometimes you watch a video of a Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class or a Gita class, and you want to write down the odd notes about that class, thinking, oh, that was good. Every single word that comes out of my spiritual master's mouth is every word that I want to write down, because everything he speaks in the words of Srila Prabhupada or the Lord, and it's beautiful. So for me, I've chosen someone who's inspiring, not only inspiring, but I have good association with. It's important to have the right type of association. I have this association with a lot of senior Prabhus who have a different role in this life for me. Some who are Shiksha Gurus, and as Shiksha Gurus, they give me guidance in different areas. So I've got different Shiksha Gurus for different things. So I've got one Shiksha Guru who gives me guidance in respect to deity worship. I have another Shiksha Guru who gives me advice on how to live here in Vrindavan. I have other Shiksha gurus who gives me guidance on Shastra. So there's lots of different people who I look up to, I aspire to learn something from, to take guidance from, because they play a role in my life for a reason, not for the sake of they are the most well-known or the most popular or whatever other reason. It's because I feel I have a relationship with them, and that relationship is of such paramount importance, I must say. Sorry, I just need to reposition myself here. It is so important not to do things for the sake of it, because in the life, in material world, we tend to do things for the sake of it, or we see other people doing it thinking, oh, they're doing it, I must do it. But the question comes up in life, and Srila Prabhupada tells us, is why do people do things because other people do it rather than doing it for the reason that they know is the right reason? And this is also of such paramount importance. You see, it's very easy just to fall into a habit of whatever else is doing. I remember as a teenager, I was like that. You see, I wasn't the centre of a crowd, I was on the outside of the crowd, and therefore I wanted to do everything that everyone else was doing because it was cool, that's what they were doing, so therefore I wanted to do that. I remember there was one other teenager who I admired. I admired the way he dressed and the way he looked, and I started borrowing his clothes in order to feel the same way. But why, in retrospect? He wasn't me, I wasn't him. But that's what I was into, and that's what happened in my past life. Now it's different. Because if I take the guidance from the right person, then that guidance I get is not just guidance. He's a representative of the Lord. And being a representative of the Lord means that they're like his messenger. And therefore, I can take instructions, I can take guidance, I can learn things that I wouldn't normally be able to understand. And it's beautiful. It's like my spiritual master, he was the one who gave me guidance to reading the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And there's absolutely no way that I'll be doing these videos or even reading the Bhagavatam if it wasn't for his guidance. So this is the role that they play in our lives, because they know who we are, and this is important, to have the right type of relationship so they actually know who you are and you know who they are to your best ability, I would say, best capacity. Because if they know who you are, then they can give you the necessary instructions, and if they give you the necessary instructions with that type of guidance, it means you have a more direct path to the Lord. Otherwise we keep on going off on a tangent, oh, I'll do a bit of this on my own, I'll do a little bit on my own. And I know what that's like, because in the past I never wanted guidance. I never wanted a spiritual master. I didn't want one guru, I didn't want one God or one religion or one belief. And therefore what I was doing is I was just taking a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then lo and behold, I'd taken all the good stuff to create a philosophy of life that I liked, and all the stuff that I didn't like I pushed aside. But that didn't actually help me, because by pushing things aside and dealing with the other stuff which is more challenging means I chose the easy route but the limiting route. But the moment I took guidance from a spiritual master, then I found myself able to learn things that I wasn't able to learn or understand previously. Because they know who we are. They're passing down instructions from the Lord. And combined together, everything becomes more purposeful, and we can accelerate our Krishna consciousness. And that's important, to have a momentum. Time isn't important, the pace isn't important, the content isn't important, but taking the guidance from the Lord via your spiritual master or other acharya means that everything's happening for the right reason, the right time. And therefore, rather than me deciding, okay, I want to learn this week or today, all of a sudden the Lord makes arrangements for me to start learning things, because the Lord knows when I'm ready, and this is important. And this is why things can be even more progressive with Bhakti Yoga, because in Bhakti Yoga, the Lord determines everything. He determines time, place, activity, and everything that we need to know or need to understand is by his arrangement. And being by his arrangement, we study things when we're ready to. You see, for instance, I read the Bhagavad Gita 3 years ago. I did not understand one single word. I was just pleased to finish it. I'm reading it again now, and now it's light bulb moment, aha, now I understand this. Oh, right, yeah, this makes sense. And therefore, there is a time and a place, because this is what the Lord arranges, not what we arrange. We're not the arranger, we're not the controller, and we're definitely not God. So, what's it like for you? Important question. Where are you? Do you tend to like to do things on your own like I do, without the guidance? Because I tell you this now, although it felt right at the time, doing things my way, in retrospect, it wasn't a waste of time, but I wasn't using the time effectively, I wasn't moving forward effectively, I found life was very limiting, and I wasn't getting through the lessons, and everything kept on repeating. Do you find that sometimes you just don't learn something and you have to do the lesson again and the lesson again, or things are getting harder or tougher? These are your clues. These are your clues as to what is happening in your life. Is everything going fluidly, and do you feel there's progression? I can say for a fact now that my intellect and my knowledge, although very, very, very little still, is still significantly larger, and I'm more aware and have better understanding than I did 3 years ago when I first came to ISKCON Vrindavan. And these are the markers. This is the proof in the pudding. This is the science of what we do. Is the evidence is based on results of what we see changing. It's not about getting results, but it's when you see things that are changing in your life, in what you think, what you know, what you do, what you feel, how you behave towards others, how you behave in society, how you think and feel towards deities. All of these help you to realize, okay, there is some change, there is some progress. And this is how we monitor it. And it's very, very, very beautiful. So, are you ready to do something a little more dynamic, I should say? If so, let me know. If you've got a question, ask a question. If you're in Vrindavan, come and see me. So, there is no limit. We are our only limit, and it's Maya Devi that makes us limited. If you feel you want to delve that little bit further, a little bit more deeper, understand more about purpose in life, what we're doing, with the guidance of a spiritual master and senior acharyas and senior devotees, they're the ones who will help you. And it's beautiful. I would never turn back anymore now. All I want to do is serve my spiritual master, serve the devotees, serve the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.